The CFTC with Brian and Commissioner Giancarlo has been one of the most thoughtful regulators in our space, and I think this industry looks forward to engaging further and doing some great things together. My name is Matt Roszak. I am co-founder of Bloq, and I proudly serve as chairman of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. What an incredible year of growth and accomplishment at the Chamber. It's like off the charts. I'm fortunate to have been here since the earliest of days in supporting Perrianne and her team at the Chamber. And stars have truly aligned. In just over 3 years, the impact and what's been assembled is truly extraordinary. Over 160 members have joined the Chamber. And these are household names like Accenture and Cisco. And then you almost have like two different worlds as part of the membership. You have household names, and then you have whippersnapper innovators in the same room, in the same tent, comparing notes. And these worlds will over time connect and maybe even collide a little bit. But it's fascinating to see this, this breadth of membership. The Chamber also has about a half a dozen working groups. The Smart Contract Alliance, obviously more technical around smart contract best practices and standards. The Blockchain Alliance, which is a public-private partnership with a lot of law enforcement agencies from around the world. So think DHS, DOJ, Secret Service, Interpol, Europol, and helping them understand what this technology is, what it isn't, how to track and trace Bitcoin, and be more thoughtful on engaging with that with our community. The Token Alliance, which came together last year as a kind of a reaction to this Cambrian explosion of tokenization and ICOs. And per what Brian said, that could actually serve as scaffolding and a platform for this notion of an SRO, where this industry really wants to up its game, wants to create best practices and standards, and really define what that process is, disclosures, and the rest of it. And that's really important. Another working group is the Blockchain Intellectual Property Council, which just released a white paper a couple days ago. And so each of these elements at the Chamber, like what's the anatomy of a working group? What's the flight path? How do these things develop? And it comes from the membership. You know, there's friction here. There's an opportunity here. Let's assemble who's in, and it's amazing how this kind of invisible hand develops these dialogues and these solutions and these platforms that really make an impact on these very specific areas. The Token Alliance, which is amazing, it's co-chaired by a former chairman of the CFTC and a former commissioner of the SEC, and that people pay attention to that, both in our industry and in this town. Beyond that, the gatherings, the socialization events, and kind of convocations like this, which are standing room only, sold out, really brings this community together to really talk through some of these issues. As Perrianne mentioned earlier in the day, we had 2 trade missions to the UAE and to Singapore. And while the Chamber is based in DC, this is global technology. It needs global interoperability. And so while we're in one of the most powerful cities in the world, you have to think globally in terms of what's happening in Asia and Europe and react to that. And the other piece that has evolved dramatically is how the team has evolved at the Chamber of Digital Commerce, and brought on new professionals, new team members, and just really amped up the complexion of the Chamber. And so with that, with the membership, with the working groups, with this this platform, it's really an amazing tool to help serve this industry. And so it's kind of like what you want to make of it, right? And need to really stress the team here. Perrianne has assembled just an absolutely world-class team, and every great team needs a great leader, and the Chamber has that in Perrianne Boring, and moreover, the industry has that in Perrianne Boring. To say she's a force of nature is like a massive understatement. She's taken this bold vision. I remember this PowerPoint 3.5 years ago to advocate for this new technology frontier. And kind of looking back over the shoulder, the Chamber has engaged at the highest levels of government and industry, and we're just getting started. So it's really exciting. So I'd like to have everybody stand up and show a round of applause and appreciation for Perry-Ann and her team. Let's see how long this lasts. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'll be honest. I can't say that I am one of those investors, technology builders that is pro regulation. I'm pro innovation. But if you care deeply about this technology and this technology frontier, you have to engage. You have to educate. You have to chat through what this technology is, what it isn't, and how regulators, both in DC and Beijing and everywhere else where you're seeing lots of regulatory arbitrage, to engage with that, because what's at risk is these new trillion-dollar networks that are slowly coming into focus. And I think smart regulators are seeing that, and at the same time, it's not that intuitive of what box it fits in, and that's where the Chamber comes in to help translate some of that. And it kind of goes to the notion of we talk a lot about tech and code and policy and regulation, but this really is about people, people and community. It's like that the building this network is very important. And the Chamber, from my standpoint, people say, why do you spend time with the Chamber? What do you get out of the Chamber? It is an incredible network. So to the left of you, you have somebody running blockchain at a Fortune 100 company. To the right of you, you have somebody that's building a new decentralized network. You are in the right room at the right time. This is an amazing network to be a part of, and undoubtedly is going to light up every light in this town, and we need to help translate that. Since we're still in the early days, and building that community is important because it gives us a chance. While some people say, "Oh, I'm a blockchain expert" or "I'm a crypto expert," that is nonsense. We're in the early days. People need to hear about this technology from 10 different people, 10 different ways. We're in the pioneering days. We're kind of in the Stone Ages still. And so collaborating, learning, sharing is what it's all about today. And the regulatory pieces, the technology pieces will evolve, and we'll all be better for it. And fundamentally, the Chamber is here to serve you. I mentioned the Token Alliance before. That was an initiative that came together organically and got a lot of momentum. And it's one of our most attended working groups of the Chamber. And we're about to unveil some interesting work material to, again, develop best practices, standards, and a better way for this industry to present itself to regulators, to industry, and everybody else. And we're very focused about regulation and that side of it, but there's also institutional investors that have been primarily on the sidelines. If you're a pension fund, sovereign wealth fund, institutional investor, it's really hard to participate in this space. You need some regulatory clarity, you need some custodian rails. All the form factors that you're used to are still being imagined and developed as we speak. And so that's a really important piece. And so I wouldn't be doing my job as chairman if I didn't have a call to action to everybody in this room. So if you're a prospective member, I hope you find value and utility in these discussions and kind of scratching the surface of what the Chamber is all about, and hope you join the team and jump in the boat. If you're in government, I hope you see some of the thought leadership and the resources that are available to you through the Chamber. And if you're an existing member, then I implore you to refer and bring in a friend or a colleague or a partner into the Chamber. And it kind of goes down to the nitty-gritty of network effects, right? The additional new member to the network creates more value, more energy, and more impact. And that's what a true trade association, especially in our space, that's what it's all about. So that's it for today's remarks. We begin tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and see you all tomorrow.